Welcome to Huskies Howl. I'm Curtis J. Phillips, Sports Information Officer for the Keyano College Huskies and sports writer for the Alberta Colleges Athletic Conference. And we're talking today soccer, and we're going to start out with men's soccer. Head coach of the Keyano College Huskies, Connor Brady. Connor, great-looking suit.
How's it going, CJ?
Maybe tell us a bit about your suit, where that comes from. We're talking prior to the show. Maybe talk about the suit and where it comes from.
Well, I'm a partner in a company called Suits by Curtis Elliott, and we do custom design, custom clothing, and all that sort of good things. So if you want a suit, you know where to go.
And you've branched right across Canada from coast to coast to coast. And where are the establishments been held?
We've got a shop in Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and looking to open one up in Montreal in November. Okay,
you're expanding right across the coast with a great business. And speaking of expansion, the Keyano College Huskies men's soccer team came into the ACAC in 2002, and the last 5 years especially, you know, your wins around 2-3 wins. You took over as head coach, and last year you were the best team in the ACAC with a record of 7 wins and 3 losses. You went to the CCAA, that's the Canadian Collegiate Athletic Association Championships, playing 5th. Last year, was that a high for you, and how did it take to get there that so quick?
It was good. It was 7 wins, 0 losses, 3 ties.
Did I say 3 losses?
Yeah,
okay.
That's okay, yeah. But it's definitely something we take pride in. You know, developing a program isn't always easy. I mean, first and foremost, it starts from changing our mentality and making sure we recruit like-minded players with like-minded work ethics and guys that have common goals in mind. School comes first, so it's nice to not have to rebuild your program every year when you're including players that are here for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. It allows you a chance to succeed year after year as opposed to trying to rebuild every September.
And you come from a sporting family. George Brady was very instrumental in the development of soccer in Fort McMurray for several years. You talk family a lot when it comes to soccer. Maybe tell us about that, the family aspect.
Well, I think our league is so competitive, especially in the north. So I firmly believe that, you know, there's a lot of good teams in our league that'll do well. Great teams do great. I think to win in this league and at this level and a CCA championship, I mean, only families do that. So if you can, like I said, get 20 like-minded players that are willing to believe in the same thing and put in the same work ethic and kind of help each other pull through it. And there's not always good times, but when you have family members there to lean on, it makes things easier. And being a student athlete isn't easy. So depending on each other and being there for each other and on and off the pitch is important to me as a coach and how I like to run the program. And I think it's paid off because it's one thing to be successful, but when you can be successful as a group and know that everybody involved has put in the same amount of effort and work ethic, it means a lot more.
Now, I've known you since you're a little tyke. I've watched you growing up, and your first few years at Keyano College Huskies, a bit of a rough spot. You're very intense with the passion for the sport. Tell us a bit about the maturity that you've gained the last 4 years.
It hasn't been easy for sure. I mean, I'm a passionate guy. I love this sport, and I'm passionate about Keyano College. And at times, I would let my passion override my character, which has become extremely important to me. Not only how well we do, but how we represent the college is important to me and is important to my team, and I know it's important to Huskies athletics. So it was important to me to kind of grow up, get my stuff together essentially, and in order for me to do that, in order for our team to be successful, it's something that I had to do and grow as a coach. So finding out that my players will rise and fall with my emotions, increase the expectation of myself. If I can stay calm and I can stay level-headed and I can walk and talk them through situations as opposed to yelling and screaming or getting bent out of shape over every single throw-in call I don't get my way, then they'll do the same. So.
And it shows on the field with 7 wins and 3 ties last year, and there's a great rivalry. You know, if you look on paper right now, it looks like Nate and Keyano gained. Maybe tell us a bit with the rivalry with the Nate Dukes from Edmonton.
There's a big rivalry there. I mean, we're 2 competitive teams, 2 competitive coaching staffs that, to be honest, don't like each other. There's no beating around the bush. When we take the pitch against Nate, we take pride every time we don the jersey, and with that, it's something else. We feel like we've been overlooked by them. We feel like they haven't given us the credit that we deserve, and every time we take the pitch against them, we we try and send a little bit of a message for sure.
Okay, speaking of going onto the pitch and lacing up the laces, some new faces, new laces with the cleats this year. And we'll start with looking at the team for 2015-2016. We start with our goalie, the main man, and that's, once again, our goalie is Luke Arthur of All-Conference last year.
Yeah, Luke's a great kid out of London, Ontario. He came 2 years ago now. This will be Luke's third year with us, and he's been instrumental in our development. I mean, every team has breakdowns and every team has lapses and every team makes mistakes, and when you have a guy like Luke back there that you're confident in, that can't only make the simple saves, but he makes some unreal saves look pretty simple. He's kept us in some big games. He's won a few games for us, and Luke's a big part of why we are where we are.
And going to the defense now, one of the kids that heads up the defense, I'm really impressed with his play. Came from the States playing down there. Angel Goldston.
Angel Goldston's tough as nails type kid, has a lot of talent, a lot of passion, has done a lot of growing up in the last 3 years, and even when hasn't been involved in our program, he's been as involved in our program as he possibly could. Angel would take on a role as a water boy if it meant that he was able to help our program. He's a good leader, he leads by example, and like I said, having a center back like Angel who's athletic, skilled, and tough as nails is pretty intimidating. So,
from experience, we go to rookies. We have Cody Holland from Coldbrook, Nova Scotia, one of your rookies playing defense.
Cody Holland's a good kid. He's been highly touted across our country for the past 5 years. He's a guy that we looked at last year. He was looking to come here last year and it didn't quite work out. Cody's a very mature student. He's got his own company at home in Halifax. He's a 40-year-old trapped in a 20-year-old's body. But what he brings to us is exponentially important. He's very mature on the field. He moves the ball very well. He has incredible vision, and to say that Cody's a tough kid is a major understatement.
Now, I'm going back real quick. There was years ago we had players on the Huskies team that were 40 years old, actually. The days of whoever showed up for Huskies teams got on the team are long gone, aren't they?
Don't even remember him, CJ. Don't even remember him.
Okay, we go to next, Justin Lodge.
Justin Lodge is a good kid. He played for us 3 years ago. He's from Vancouver, BC, and very fast, very skilled, very talented player. Again, our left and right backs, they have incredible vision, so it allows us to break up the field with not only pace and speed, but with talent and technical ability as well. So he makes us really deep, and he allows us to get out of our own end in a really big hurry.
And then we have a diminutive player, Tali Guete.
Tali Guete, also a fourth-year player here, and again has been instrumental as to what we're trying to do. Tali's not a center back naturally, but in the last couple of years, us having a bit of a lack of depth, he's stepped up and filled that hole for us in a big way. He's an incredible shot blocker. He's got a great work ethic, and he does a really good job in the air for us as well.
And heading to the midfield, one player you're really interested in and talk highly of, Thomas Cartbow.
Yeah, Thomas is a good kid. He's got a lot of experience. He's played all over the world, and he's played in all types of youth academies and professional development academies. He hasn't been fortunate enough to make any first teams, which I think is unfortunate for him, but he's coming back to get an education, and he's a passionate kid about coming to Keyano. He wants to be involved and a part of what we're doing here, and at the rapid rate we're growing, it's really drawn his attention. So he's an ex-Nate player who's also looking to go out and send a bit of a message for us. So we're lucky to have a guy like Thomas.
And while at Nate, he was Rookie of the Year in the ACAC, so he does have some accolades.
He did some damage to us 4 years ago, yeah. Back then he was, again, great player to have on your team. Not the best player you want to play against. He's tough, he's gritty, he's technical, he's talented, he's got vision, he's a leader, he's a lot of good things, so to play against him is tough.
This young man, a wizard with the footwork on the field, one of the best players in Alberta, not of Canada, in futsal, indoor soccer, Pedro Bianchi.
Yeah, Pedro's a big, strong kid. He's incredibly fast. He's a powerhouse. He's what I would like to call a power forward on the soccer pitch. He demands attention, and he demands the respect from other teams, which gives us the opportunity to spread out and kind of create space for some other people. And Pedro being a great finisher and a great striker of the ball, it allows him to get some space as well. And he scored a couple big goals for us in the past, so I look for him to do it again.
And we stick with Brazil imports with Rodrigo Lete de Silva Costa Tavares.
Yeah, bit of a stretch there in the name, but another good guy. He was our team MVP last year. Influential person on the field. He's an incredibly dynamic defender. He's a defensive midfielder player, very, very strong in the air. Without Leitch last year, I think we do a lot of falling apart. He's very good on the ball, very strong on the ball, and absolutely zero panicking. He doesn't even know the word because he's cool, calm, and collected for 95 plus minutes.
And another rookie to the team from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Mio Ezra.
Garrett Ezra.
Oh, Garrett Ezra.
Yeah, Garrett is a good kid, little undersized, but what he lacks in size, he makes up for in effort and speed and talent. He's a great striker of the ball. He's got great distribution into the box, and he's going to be a dynamic little player for us this year.
And speaking of little players, this young man, incredible footwork. I know he was out last year with hiatus. He's back to the team. Santiago Regoza.
Yeah, Santi's a veteran guy who again has done a lot of growing up. Santi and I had quite a few preseason talks this year in how he was going to approach coming back to the team and what he was going to do with it. And I had my doubts, but Santiago stepped up and super exceeded my expectations, and he's been a leader and he's been a hard worker, and all that despite what he brings to the table with his talents and his abilities. He's been a great guy for us to have on our team this year.
With Santiago, I'm a big fan of Santiago. Sometimes his emotion overtakes a game, gets the yellow or red card, and that does affect the team.
It 100% does affect the team, and I think, like I said, Santiago's done a lot of growing up, and I think he's under the firm impression that it's not what he thinks is out of line, it's what I think is out of line, and what the team thinks is out of line, and what referees think is out of line. And he's more than aware that when he makes those decisions to retaliate or respond, that they don't affect him, they affect all 11 guys on the field. And I'm not sure he wants to put himself in that situation this year. So being as deep as we are, we're able to play Santiago in the front of the field, so we don't have to put him in situations where he's defending and getting into those untimely tackles. So I would expect some big things from Santiago, and red cards wouldn't be one of them.
And big things we can always expect from Rodrigo Gobic.
Baby. Yeah, Baby came to us 3 years ago. And when we talk about kids growing up, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch this kid grow up and see him turn into the young man he's turned into. He's a gentleman, he's a hard worker, he's a great student, and he scores goals with a natural ability like I haven't seen before. He often gets mistaken, even when he's working very, very hard, he gets mistaken for kind of being lackadaisical or lazy simply because he makes things look so easy. He's very deceptively fast, he's an incredible finisher, and he's turned into quite the leader as well for us.
Rookie from Jamaica, Kyle Cummings, the striker.
Kyle came to us this fall looking to play at Keyano College, and he had heard we had done some good things, and he's got some family here in town now, and what a blessing it's been for us to pick up a guy like Kyle Cummings, who's had some international experience playing for the U17 Jamaica international team. He's a big, strong, young kid. He's fast. He's an incredible target man. His work ethic is unparalleled, and again, Kyle's going to be a huge, huge player for our future at Keyano College. And with the time he gets this year, I would expect him to do some big things as well.
And I know you always like to see Fort McMurray kids on the team, but they have to earn their spot. They're just not given a spot. And we have one kid from the Western Community High School Trojans, second-year player Adam Druin.
Yeah, Adam is a feisty guy. He also played at Keyano a couple years ago, not under myself, under another coach, and where I think the expectations were a lot less and the standard wasn't set so high. So he came in with the right mentality to this new team, and he's brought a real grit to our team. And Adam provides a lot of appropriate attitude. He's feisty, he's gritty, he knows how to get under your skin. He's like the fly that just doesn't go away, you know. But he's going to play some valuable minutes for us, and it's going to be nice to see a local guy make some waves this year.
And another local guy, Keyano
Dubé, yeah. Killian, he's actually a permanent resident. He's only been here 8 months, but he's another young player who's really come into his own in the past 3-4 weeks. Getting to know the guys, I know as a young kid it's probably pretty intimidating. Some of these guys are grown, experienced men with a lot of playing abilities, but he's taken the role on in spades, and he's done a great job. So.
And returning to Fort McMurray after heading back to Ontario, Brian Farquharson.
Yeah, Brian is another young kid who's a green center back for us. Big, strong defender with a good amount of pace. He's been hurt for the first little bit, but we're looking for him to get healthy and come and make a big difference for us.
From Edmonton, Alberta, first-year player, Enzo Osman.
Yeah, Enzo's a good kid. He's been plagued with injuries in the past. He's come into camp injury-free this year, so that's good for us. And we're looking at Enzo to step up and become a good role player for us. It's nice to be so deep and have a guy like Enzo come in off the bench and not affect the quality of play at all.
Fourth-year player, always a hustler out there. You know, I really enjoy his hustle. Carson Haywood Farmer.
Carson Haywood Farmer, there's really not enough you can say about him. He's a quality person. He's a great student. What he brings to this team, besides his work ethic and his physical abilities and his athletic capabilities, is he's a good piece of the glue that holds this team together. He makes sure guys get to where they need to go. He makes sure they have their medicals done. He makes sure that they have their online testing done and all these sort of good things. So he's a real leader, and he does it quietly. He doesn't ask for any accolades. He doesn't ask for any special attention. He does it because that's the type of person he is, and we're very lucky to have Carson on our squad.
And rounding out the lineup from showing the international aspect of the Keyano College Huskies for 2015, from Nigeria, Fahad Dunkaka.
Yeah, Fahad Dunkaka's another good young kid on our squad. He's had some issues staying focused, but he's come a really long way. He's had the unfortunate incident of being injured in our training camp this year, so he's hurt right now, but Fahad's an incredibly fast guy who provides a lot of free will out there. He can beat players with his pace, and when he wants to, he gets gritty enough and makes a big difference on the defensive end as well.
And Daniel Carceres.
Daniel's another local kid who comes out of the Father Merck Academy, who has done a really, really good job to step up and take on the role of playing with these big guys. He's an incredibly talented kid from Venezuela, and he brings a lot to the table. While he's young, he's mature, he's definitely ready to play in the ECAC.
And you have a good assistant coaching staff, Scotty Howard, Simon McKean, and Jules O'Hello.
That's right, yeah. So Scotty Howard's a good guy who played for us a couple of years ago. He's hasn't left our program. He's always been around. He's always been instrumental to us. He's always been helping us get the guys there and make sure he's trucking them all to practice and that sort of thing. And he brings a lot of good experience to our team. He's a great finisher himself. He knows how to be aware in the offensive third. He knows how to talk to players about being dynamic both ways. And he's got some great experience playing in the NCAA himself as a teenager. So we're definitely lucky to have Scotty around.
And we're hosting the ACAC Men's Championships this year for soccer at Shell Place. What do the Huskies have to do to get to that gold medal game?
Just keep doing what we're doing. We take each game at a time. Obviously, we have an end goal, and that end goal involves Montreal in November. But we understand that there's a number of little goals that we have to accomplish in order for us to get where we want to go. So we're going to keep working as hard as we can. We're going to make every team we play our game. We're going to stay disciplined, and we're going to outwork everybody else.
That was Connor Brady, head coach of the Keyano Huskies men's soccer team, heading into 2015 for the Alberta Colleges Athletic Conference. We'll be right back after the Huskies Howl Trivia with head coach Ian Diaz of the Keyano Huskies women's soccer team. Well, we hope you got the right answer to the Keyano Huskies Howl Trivia. I'm Curtis J. Phillips, Sports Information Officer for the Keyano College Huskies and Sports Writer for the Alberta Colleges Athletic Conference. We talked men's soccer. We're now going to talk women's soccer with head coach Ian Diaz. Ian, good to see you once again.
Good to see you again.
Now, Ian, in the past, we've, to be honest, we've had a hard time getting those goals on the scoreboard.
Yes.
Last year, what were some of the positives from last year in the 2014 ACAC season for the Keyano Huskies women's soccer team?
I think it's just the drive the girls had was really good. They had a no-quit attitude, and I'm looking forward to that again for the ones that are returning.
And now this year, we're looking at a a lot of new faces, a lot of new laces. We start with the goalie, and Haley Craddock from Campbell River. She's a third-year player. Maybe tell us a bit about her background.
Yeah, she's coming from, she plays two sports. She's softball and soccer. And softball, I think, is her first love. But she was in school in the States for softball for 2 years. And she was brought up here at the last minute. I found out about her through a girl that she knew that was here already. And yeah, she's going to be something special for sure this year. She's going to be our backup goalie, or sorry, our main goalie. And we're looking to hopefully see if we can play her out too as well.
And a lot of teams don't have that backup goalie, but you do this year with Shauna Budden.
Yes.
And a local kid went to Westwood. Will she be playing any other positions or strictly backup goalie?
Strictly goalie for now. We're going to work really hard with her to be able to provide her the time on the field that she is looking for. And like I said, if we can get Haley out to play too, that would be good. But it'll be a fun season between the two of them.
Okay, you have a strong defensive unit. We're starting with Annabelle Road, and she's from Windsor, Ontario, second-year player.
Yes, Annabelle was. She did very well last year. She was a leader in the making, and this year I think she's got the ability to do that this year, to take charge in the back. She was a little shy last year, but this year she's come out with a different attitude.
And how hard is that as a coach, getting that motivation to get that kid to, really be themselves on the pitch?
It's very hard because once you do get it, you get a smile on your face and you go, okay, everything's going to be okay. So that's where I'm at right now with her.
Well, great. Another defender from Westwood, one of several rookies, Brina Rusnell.
Yes. Brina, her sister played with us last year. She was in net. And Brina is a natural athlete. She's a swimmer here in Fort McMurray, I believe. Very high-end swimmer. And she brings a lot of energy onto the field that we're going to definitely need from her.
And a lot of local athletes, but we have 3 athletes from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
Yes.
And they play a lot of futsal down there because they don't have the outside courts, outside pitches to play soccer. And one of the first from Rio de Janeiro, Maria Robalino, and she's a defender.
Yes, she's again a very, very technical player. She comes to us with a lot of intensity with her game. We hope that she carries it out to the outdoor pitch, and she enjoys it. I know she will enjoy futsal because that's their game, but we're trying to shape her up for the outdoor game, and she's looking pretty good so far.
And a veteran of the team, third-year player, Chantel Holte.
Yes, she's our true leader, I think, right now. She brings that leadership that is required from the player that you need to keep the girls in line and to keep the connection between the coaches and the players. And so that's what we're looking for from her.
And one of the other girls, she's a forward, Barbara Nascimento from Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, Barbara is going to be something special. On the field, she hustles. She is a very technical player, and she's able to get the ball forward, and I think she's looking to score a few goals herself, so I'm looking forward to that.
And we stay with the midfield, Jolene Brady.
Jolene was here. She joined us in futsal last year. She was a latecomer and a little bit of a surprise. I think she has a cheerleading background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she came out and she was very tough and mean and didn't take any prisoners when she was on the pitch. And she actually scored a few goals in futsal, which was very nice.
So when we get that big win this year, she can do some backflips and some cheers for us.
Yeah, we're going to try to work on those celebrations.
Tara Wright, another Fort Murray kid.
Yes, I met her mid-summer, and originally she had planned to go away. And I went to watch her play a game. She played for Westwood High School, and she did very well on the wing. She's a high-energy kid, very fast. She has a good shot, and I'm looking to utilize her on the wing and maybe up front.
Okay, Diana Litchie.
Diana Litchie her height will help us out a lot. She has a lot of abilities to win the ball. She doesn't seem to be afraid to get into tackles, and she hopefully will be able to give us some oomph in the middle.
Okay, and I can't pronounce her first name. I think she goes by May McGillis. What's she go by her first name?
Medihani McGillis, but we call her Madan.
Madan. Okay,
Yeah.
Madan McGillis, a very enthusiastic kid.
Yes, and she is another one of our leaders. She takes care of the girls. She's the one that looks after them when they are out on a team outing. She's the one that, looks to them for making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So.
Okay, our next two players from Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
We're looking at Carolina Barros.
Yes, she's our forward. She's very spunky and has a lot of tenacity about her. She's proved on practice that she can handle the game, and she's going to be able to hopefully pop some balls in the net for us this weekend.
And Barbara Nascimento.
Yeah, she's very technical in the field. I got a chance to meet her in Rio when I went there this summer, and it was very, very nice to watch her play. She's very fluid with her movement, and she understands the game. She's got good soccer IQ, which I'm looking forward to, but we got to build her she's got to do more weights.
And the language barrier with the three players from Rio de Janeiro. What's the language barrier? Can you speak Spanish or Brazilian?
I do speak Spanish to them. They understand some of it. I've had to use a lot of, I have to buy a lot of apps for translating Portuguese to English, and I've utilized that myself quite a bit. But they're picking up a few of the words here and there. I think within the team we've tried to do like a Portuguese day or a Brazilian day, so that we try to learn words from them. And we do it the other way, of course.
¿Cómo se llama?
Como se llama? Yes, that.
Oh, see, I knew what is your name and you want a date. That's all I knew in every language that I travel playing sports. Now we're looking at the 13th player on the roster, and she's a veteran too, Diana Lott.
Yes, Diana Lott. I don't know what she did over the summer, but she did something really good, and she's improved a lot. Her kicks are gotten better. Her ability to go to the net has gotten better, so it's good. I'm looking forward to seeing her. She's got size to her too, so she'll scare a few players here or there.
And one player, tenacity. She played at CIS, I believe, at St. Francis University.
Yes.
Jordan Brass, the whole Brass family involved in athletics. What does Jordan bring to the team?
Jordan, for me, is she's a little leader that everybody doesn't think about. She's very driven, she's very motivated, and she's also very demanding, and I like that about her. She always wants to win. The whole Brass family, I've been dealing with them for quite a bit, and they're all the same way. They all want to get out on that field. They enjoy the game a lot, and they want to be able to, leave a mark. After she's done her game, she says, I want to leave it all on the field after I'm done. So if she's done that, she feels good.
Now, this year, we're going to have a defense with the muscle, an offense with the hustle. What do the Huskies need to get on get that W in the column this year?
I think I've been preaching to them that, winning is a habit, and in order to make it a habit, they got to learn how to win. And we've been doing that in the last few sessions we've had, just learning how to get ourselves in the right positions to be successful, and I've been trying to put them in positions to be successful. And by doing that, hopefully they'll be able to, score some goals and start to learn to win games, and hopefully make it habitual for the season, even though it is a short season.
Well, congratulations on the start of the new season, Ian.
Thank you.
And that's Ian Diaz, head coach of the Keyano Huskies Athletics women's soccer team. Earlier we talked to Connor Brady, head coach of the men's soccer team for Keyano College Huskies. And you can check out the end of this broadcast with the dates of the Huskies soccer, along with basketball, volleyball, hockey, and the sports taking place along with futsal in the Alberta Colleges Athletic Conference. This is Curtis J. Phillips for Huskies Howl.